You ever watch a high school game and see one team just light up the scoreboard and you wonder, how are they doing that? Well, a lot of the time, the answer is a simple but absolutely devastating system. Today, we are breaking down one of the most influential playbooks out there, specifically for the high school game, George Coltharp's air raid offense. So let's get right into it and see what makes this thing so explosive. Everything, and I mean everything, in the air raid comes back to this one simple idea. It's not about trick plays. It's not about 1,000 different formations. Every single thing they do is laser-focused on this one goal. Honestly, that clarity, that's the secret sauce. That's what makes it work week in and week out.
So how do you get there? It's through a concept they call the magic rep. The whole idea is that you don't need a playbook the size of a phone book. No. You master a handful of plays. You run them so many times that your players can do it in their sleep. It gets to the point where the defense knows exactly what's coming, and they still can't stop it.
And this quote from Bruce Lee just nails the mindset, doesn't it? The air raid isn't trying to confuse the defense with a million different looks. It's about overwhelming them with perfect execution. You become an absolute expert at your core concepts, and that's what makes you so dangerous.
And that is really the bottom line here. The entire system is built on two things: simplicity and repetition. You think a small playbook, you rep those plays thousands and thousands of times, and you build a kind of muscle memory that is just flat out unstoppable on Friday nights.
Okay, so how do you actually build that kind of mastery? Well, it all comes down to an incredibly efficient and structured practice plan. It's designed to squeeze every last dropout of that magic rep concept. Just look at this flow. We're talking about a 60-minute offensive practice broken down into these super focused periods. You start with drills like settle and noose, which just gets your quarterback and receivers on the same page. Then you jump right into pat and go to lock in the QB's footwork and, more importantly, establish that lightning-fast tempo. From there, you're repping your core pass plays over and over. Then you mix in the run game, and finally, you put it all together in game-like situations. You see how each period just builds on the last one? It's all about maximizing those reps.
All right, we've seen how they practice. Now let's look at what they're running. The whole goal with these formations is to stretch the defense from sideline to sideline. You want to force defenders to cover a ton of grass and make the reads for your quarterback as simple as possible.
And the foundation of it all is their base set. It's a simple, balanced 2x2 formation that they call open.
Now, the power of this look is its symmetry. When you line up with two receivers on each side, you basically force the defense to show you what they're doing. Are they going to stay balanced? Are they going to roll a safety over? Right away, before the snap, your quarterback gets a clean picture and can find the one-on-one matchup he wants to attack.
Now, from that balanced look, you create an imbalance to really put the defense in a bind. This is their 3x1 set. They call it early when the trips are to the right and late when they're to the left.
And this is how you create mismatches. I mean, think about it. You put three receivers to one side of the field, and the defense has to make a choice, right? Do they shift their entire coverage over to handle the three receivers, leaving your best guy, the single receiver, on the backside in a one-on-one? Or do they try to cover three guys with fewer defenders? Either way, you've created an advantage before the ball is even snapped.
And finally, to add a little bit of power and keep defenses honest, they'll bring a tight end or an H-back into the game with their hero set. This is such a brilliant little wrinkle. All of a sudden, you've got a stronger surface to run the ball, forcing the defense to account for a power look. But, and this is the key, you're still in a spread formation. You haven't lost your ability to throw the ball all over the field. It creates a major conflict for a defense. Okay, so we've got the formations down. But to really spin it to win, you gotta be able to execute. And that always starts with the most important part of any pass play, protection.
It's like the godfather of the air raid, how Mummy said, it's hard to complete passes from your back. Makes sense, right? The air raid's answer is a really unique protection scheme called the vertical set. It's designed to be simple, aggressive, and really effective against the blitz. And they teach it with this dead simple numbering system. The center IDs the 0 defender right over him. The guards have the 1s, the tackles have the 2s, and the quarterback and running back are responsible for any 3s. The linemen set vertically, kind of taking an area, and as the defenders commit, it turns into a simple man-on-man block. It's one rule that works against pretty much any defensive front you'll see. So, with the protection handled, let's get into the fun stuff. A core play in their quick game, the slant concept.
This is a mirrored concept, which just means both outside receivers are running the same 5-yard slant. The QB has a simple read, going from one side to the other. But the real genius here is how the receivers adjust to what the defense is doing.
And it all comes down to this one coaching phrase: don't run yourself covered. So, if a receiver sees a linebacker dropping into his path against his own defense, he doesn't just keep running into traffic. No way. He slows down and sits right there in the open window, in the grass. The quarterback isn't thrown to a person, he's throwing to a spot. It's a game changer. And now, for the most famous, most iconic play in the entire air raid playbook, the 92 mesh concept. This play is designed to create absolute chaos for the defense and get guys running wide open over the middle of the field.
So what makes mesh so unstoppable? It's these two simple rules for the guys running the crossing routes. If they read man coverage, they follow the climb rule. That means they just keep running full speed across the field to create separation. But if they read zone coverage, they use the sit rule. Once they cross the middle of the field and clear the traffic, they find the first open window they can and settle down for the quarterback. It's one play with two simple adjustments that can beat any coverage you throw at.
So after all the reps, all the simple formations, and all the core concepts, what's the real payoff here? Why would a high school coach want to install this offense?
Well, first, it creates a high-flying, high-scoring brand of football that gets everybody excited. The players, the student body, the whole town. Second, its simplicity is just perfect for high school. You can get those multi-sport athletes who come out for football up to speed incredibly fast. And finally, because the playbook is so small and repeatable, it's just easier for coaches to teach and for players to truly master. It's a system that's literally built for success.
In the end, the air raid is so much more than just a set of plays. It's a philosophy. It's built on confidence, on repetition, and on executing flawlessly when the lights come on. It's a system for coaches who believe that the best way to dominate today's game is to spread the field, get your playmakers the ball in space, and, as George Coltharp would say, spin it to win.